The hell did you do that for?
I waved.
I know.
I hit.
I know. Welcome back to the PS and Jess podcast. That is not Jess.
No, it's not.
His name starts with a J, but it's not Jess. What's up, Jonathan?
What's going on, man?
That's Jonathan over there. First time doing a podcast? Well, second. So we tried to do a podcast like
2 weeks ago, yeah.
And when I set the camera up, I did not know. I had the camera on a certain setting, and it was focused in on the
organic water bottle rather than our conversation.
Yeah, it was quite interesting. But yeah, man, It's been a few days.
It's been
We haven't been busy.
I haven't had anything.
How's life going?
Not too bad. I've been cooling it, taking advantage of my days as best I can. You know, trying to get the most out of them, even though I don't really do anything.
Sometimes, like when being in the business that we're in, it goes up and down a lot. So,
I thought we were picking up right there. Like when last time we were having them, I was like, "Oh, we're picking up again," you know, and then it just dropped right back down. I was like, "Man." I was like, unlucky.
It happens like that. I hate it. I hate it when it happens like that. It worries me sometimes.
Right.
But then, but yeah. So, Jonathan works with me. And what we do is pick up people that have
passed on.
And we really don't talk about it very much.
It's a little rough to talk about.
It's rough to talk about.
Because,
But I kind of want to touch on it a little bit. Like, you started with me in May, right? And I remember the first time I met Jonathan, your dad hit me. You know, I had posted something on Facebook.
Yeah.
Like, hey, if anybody needs a part-time job or something like that, you know, it was a post like that. Your dad hit me up. And, yeah, sure. You know, cool. All right. Been awesome since then. It's been awesome since then.
It's been going.
It has. We've stuck around.
We've done super, super good, I think.
Yeah, and you're young too.
I know, right?
And so I've had some people that have came to work for me that one removal and that's
We're
it.
quick. Yeah, I remember that guy at the gas station. Yeah, that poor guy.
Yeah, that was tough. It's a tough business, but it has to be done.
Right,
yeah.
Someone's
got to be done. Somebody's got to do it. But surprisingly, Jonathan does very well. You do really good at it.
Yeah, no, I do super, super good at it.
He got nervous at the beginning.
I get more nervous at the people that are alive than the dead ones for sure. That's way. That's a lot harder to deal with.
It is. But so what do you think of the experience so far?
I think it's a super cool experience. I think it's like you don't meet someone, you know, that like I handle with deceased people day to day, you know what I mean? I don't think you meet a lot of those people that like are like weirdo. Or if you do meet someone, I feel like they're a little on edge, you know, they're like kind of like a weird person, but like I'm definitely like it's kind of just like a job, you know? Like I don't know how to look at it. Like I definitely feel, but it's like can't feel for them, you know?
Yeah, it's weird, and I guess that's why I kind of want to talk about it because it's just kind of like it doesn't get talked about very often.
Like what the person doing the job like feels like too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like people in the funeral industry. Okay, I get it. First responders, paramedics, firefighters, police officers, and so on, like that. You know, like they're heroes and stuff. I get that. But people that work in the funeral industry, like funeral directors, funeral assistants, what we call removal techs, things like that. Man, we don't get any props. I'm not saying that
I feel like not like we need it. I feel like we do something like some of the officers are very like real nice
Yeah.
people. Like you guys are like good at what you do. Like I wouldn't be able to do what you guys do sometimes. Like I remember hearing that
And
sometimes from
yeah,
them.
no, it's the same thing with
Mm-hmm.
with people that you know work on the other side of the
Mm-hmm.
like nurses and stuff. Like, man, they have a tough job. There's two tough parts to it. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? But like, um, I goof off. I'm a very very
Happy
everybody that knows
happy
me.
person.
Yeah,
Positive individual.
I'm a very positive individual, I guess. You know, but when it's time to help these families through their toughest times, I'm I completely change. You know, like it's kind of like going. It's like I don't want to compare it to Superman, but it's like
Like
going
literally,
into a phone booth and coming out somebody completely
yeah, no,
different. You
100%.
know?
Like on our way there, we're cooling it and like we're
Yeah,
going, cracking it and everything. As soon as those doors open and we're going out, it's like we're
we're
locked. We're
yeah
locked
we're
in.
locked in, and it is a tough job.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we removal techs, people that do our line of work. I mean, we have to be that I always say this, that pillar of support.
Yeah, that anchor. Yeah, that people can like
That
latch onto
people,
and be like, okay, everything's gonna
yeah,
be
because
okay.
this is the beginning stages for
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
You know what
It's
I
not
mean?
even the end. Yeah,
Yeah,
it is just the beginning of what like that lengthy process that it all
yeah,
takes to be done with.
yeah. And I remember when I first started doing this line of work. Um, when I was training, so when I was training, it was an individual that was training me, and like my very first call was a gruesome call, but that same night I went on a what we call a unattended death, where someone passed away, like you know they were cooking dinner or something like that, and had a heart attack, and unfortunately did not make it,
Mm-hmm.
and the police were there. You know, police calls aren't always like suicides or homicides or overdoses. I mean, sometimes it was somebody that had a health issue.
That just fell and
It
you
just
know
fell
stopped
and
breathing.
came to their end of life, you know. And I remember, I'll never forget it. They were at the front of the house, and we walked in. We introduced ourselves, and we were there to remove the deceased. Before we removed them, I remember that I was just standing there, and this is my very first day, and the children were grown. They were there. It was a gentleman, and they were praying over him, and I just remember looking away because I started getting teary eyed.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of like my first actual taste of seeing someone grieve. And people grieve in such different ways that it like I've had people like dance, take shots. Um, they would play the person's favorite movie on the TV. Um, it's different
Mm-hmm.
every time.
Unique.
It's unique every time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, um, that was unique for me, my
Mm-hmm.
very first time. Like seeing the grieving process, but over time, we do develop
Like a shell.
we become desensitized
Mm-hmm.
to it. But then there's some instances where we're not desensitized. You can't, if you become completely desensitized to it, there's something wrong with you.
Mm-hmm. Where like it doesn't bother you at all to
Yeah.
be doing what you're doing.
It doesn't bother you at all.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of, um,
That was my biggest fear. Like that when like meeting you, that was like my biggest fear because I was like, this ain't that bad, you know what I mean? But I was like, they're dead people, you know. I don't want this guy to be like this creep guy is like, yeah, let's go do it, you know what I mean? Let's get this and like not like take it serious, I guess. You know what I mean? Like more or less, it's just like I'm just earning money from it. But like no, it wasn't like that at all. I thought you were like gonna be like a crazy guy that like did this sort
Yeah.
of stuff. But like real affectionate and like you know what you're doing. You know how to like you know how to take care of the family.
I appreciate that. I try. I mean, I went through we all go through our losses. But it's very important to me. Like when it, I hate to say showtime, but
Mm-hmm.
when it's time to do the job, it's time to do the job. And there have been some instances where um, I've had doubt if I can do my job.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, man, like at the beginning, there was some situations that I had where I was like, I don't know if I could do this. But then my spirit was like, you got to do this.
Yeah, you gotta
You know what
get
I
it
mean?
done.
Like I don't want to say this is what I was made for, but I feel comfortable doing it, and I'm confident in what I do, especially when it comes to helping these families during our toughest times. And death is something that we're all going to experience, no matter what. But yeah, I'm glad you like the job,
Mm-hmm.
and and uh, you being as young as you are now.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think that affects you? Seeing like somebody your age, you're
Mm-hmm.
18, um, doesn't see that very often.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Yeah.
I think it like how does it affect me or
Yeah. How does it affect? Like how? I mean, has anything about you like changed?
um I'm definitely I think I just see the amount of things that can happen now. Like that 100% like the things that I've seen happen at some of the calls, you know what I mean? Like damn, this is like a way that someone has died. I feel like I've seen it like so much more. I'm like it's like a lot more open like the different types of ways that people can just pass away and
Mm-hmm.
like get off the earth type of thing. Like it isn't just like the the last one that I did by myself, last police call I did, that guy was in front of his house. You know what I mean? Like that's not something I'd imagine ever that would happen. You know what I mean? Someone doing that in front of their home type of thing.
Yeah.
And I was just like that. That's like it's like someone could do that. You know what I mean? Someone could like freak out, go out there and just do those types of things.
Yeah.
I think like it doesn't like I think it kind of like just prepares me for like because I don't yeah I've never had anyone my grandpa, but I think it prepares me for like those types of deaths that like will happen. I think it's like really preparing me to like grieve on those moments, those like nursing home calls and stuff like that, to like really like feel for those types of people and stuff like that, because like everyone will most people will like get there in their lives where they're like on hospice care or something like that. So it's like seeing my loved one like that.
I think from one of the things that's done for me was it'd be weird to say it, but it's taught me how much of a monster we can be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whew. You know what I mean? Have you ever seen that show? You might be too young to remember this, A Thousand Ways to Die.
Yes. I remember watching that show. I remember seeing like so many different ways. Yeah, like, I remember seeing like it was like a fake glass, bro, ran through the fake glass, but like it wasn't like or yeah, it was
It's just
soft glass,
it's
and
weird.
he ran right through it, and he just like that. I was like, why
It's
is that just
weird.
a way? Yeah,
Yeah,
that's crazy.
but yeah, no, I'm glad that we got to touch on that. I think we did more than touch on it, but yeah, no, that's one of those things where man, it's truly life changing.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. It's truly life changing. I I don't know, man. I don't want to say I'm glad I got into it, but um, I'm I'm just going with the flow.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I'm comfortable doing it, and props to people out there that work in the fuel industry. Like, man, when I first started, I did not know the that, like everything about it, like
the whole process.
the process.
Yeah, I think that's my favorite thing. Like the whole process with
the process.
How you do it, how you watch the people grieve, and like the like then like a month or 2 weeks later, I see them again. You know what I mean? Because they're like doing.
I've had that happen to me before.
Yeah, like,
yeah.
That's where I'm like.
Me and Jess had that happen to us, where we dealt with a family on a call, and they recognized me. They were like, "Do you work?" I'm like,
You don't want to say it.
I there's sometimes I really don't want to say it, and I'm like,
it's not like a trophy. Like, yeah,
I know. It's like I had somebody recognize me, and they're like, "Do you work for a funeral home?" And I'm going, you might know me from the funeral business.
I do.
Yeah, I was like, did you have someone pass away? And,
right.
You know, like it. The conversation gets awkward, but then like, you know who you're dealing with when you go to these calls by their personality, and that's also amazing to me. Like how people handle death.
Yeah.
You know, how they handle death is so unique. I remember. When was it? You were on the call with me. I'm trying to think about it, but I just had one of those minutes where it just went blank. Oh, the camera thing.
Oh yes, that was like awesome. Yeah, like those type of things I live for.
Camera thing.
Those are the type of ones that I live for. Yeah,
we did a call where we were on a call, and the family wanted to take a picture, and the gentleman was taking the picture with the family, and I was like, do you want me to take the picture for you?
So you can be in there.
You can be in the picture, right? It's a whole different type of culture. And he's like, yeah, he said, yeah. So I go to take the picture. Psst. Everybody's in the room. A lot of people are in the room.
40 people, yeah.
A lot. And as soon as I finish taking the picture, I go to hand the phone back. And as I'm handing the phone back,
and it changing.
It was another phone, and then another one, and then another one, and then another one. I think it was like 5 or 6.
Yeah, there was like five phones or something like that.
It was like 5 or 6 phones.
It was like there was another person like every time coming up and like, can we get one? Can we get
one? I regretted doing it because I was like, oh my god, I hope not everybody.
Everyone wants one.
Come on, y'all got to do a group text or something like that. And
there's got to be something,
yeah. But yeah, it's like those experiences.
Yeah, because like even then there were people standing on like not on her bed, but like there was people like standing on like the dressers or something. Yeah, like behind her, like just posing too, and just in the picture with her. I was like, dude, that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, but
such nice people too. Like they're so cool too. Like how they ask you, and like it's just like you like.
I'm glad to help in those moments.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You get to be that helping hand. You're right there, right then.
I'm glad to be. That's like one of the things that we do when you go to these type of situations. And see, that's the thing. Like we are way too. I think that it's not talked about enough. Like in different countries. You've seen videos like where people have passed or where something dramatic and they're out in the road or they're not even covered up. I mean, here it's different. But see, that's the thing. Like the funeral industry here is so much different than from other places. And it's really regulated here. And that's why society is able. I read this in my in school. Because I go to mortuary school, and that was one of the things that we talked about was how regulated the funeral industry is here in the United States. That it's a good balance.
Yeah,
I mean there's the way that records get capped and all that stuff. In other countries, like, okay, that person died. You're having a funeral the very next day and being buried the very next day. That's even if they do burial, depending on the culture. But that's what I find so interesting in the funeral industry is that I've learned since being in the funeral industry so many cultural traditions that I'm like, oh, I didn't even know that happened. Like, I tried to find out. I asked somebody that's from Asia when they tip.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I'm there to pick up someone's loved one, and
Why?
they tip.
Yeah. Why do you feel that generous to hand over? It's a.
I get
I
it.
didn't just deliver something or just like take your furniture at your house. You know, like that's like that. I also like feel like what does the person go through too? Like when they're like, okay, we got to give them this money. Like I feel like that's so weird. Like I would never. I mean, like I would and I wouldn't because I'm like, it's your job, but it's like. How do I go about like here's money?
Sit that way.
Here's money.
In case you go out of the camera frame.
Here's money for taking care of my loved one. You know, like it feels weird in my head that like that's what happens sometimes with those types of calls.
That's the first time that ever happened to me. I was like,
yeah,
it's literally like $100.
Yeah, I remember I got tipped for that one call, and then for the service, like I wasn't even there for that long, and they tipped me or whatever, like that service I had to do on my own. I was like, thanks guys, that's like real
things
nice.
like that happen, and then like you don't want to be disrespectful and not take it.
Yeah, because I'm like, well, it's like, and like I feel weird taking it though.
I'm broke.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Like I feel weird taking it because I'm like, well, like it's my job, you know what I mean? But like I also don't want to like just it's weird, you know. It's not furniture or like food that I'm dealing with. Like it's your loved one. Like you really don't need to. Like it's okay.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I felt like that the same way. Well, even though we were only supposed to touch on it a little bit, we touched on it a lot. I guess that we're gonna call it quits on this one. But it was a really good conversation, and I appreciate having the conversation with you. Like always, be sure to subscribe, like, comment.
Turn on notifications. Because people get mad.
I'm not going to turn on the notifications, okay?
Yeah.
Turn on the notifications.
There you go.
Like, let's turn them on. Like, right now. Do it right now. We'll pause. Pause.
Surely they did it, right?
I'm trying to give him a chance to. The bell. Right there.
Yeah, okay.
The bell. Right there. Hit it. All right, everybody. That does it. Jess sends her regards. She said hello. She is in class. She was doing a class, and she couldn't be with us. So she says hello once again. And that is it today for this episode of PS and Jess, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
Bye. Peace.